And so I don't know where it will end up. It's really up to the DA.
So the last question before we get to really easy stuff like Google, and about platforms and bigger where things are going. Do you have any comments on what's going on at Foxconn because of all the press around?
Oh, sure, yeah. We're pretty on top of that. I actually think Apple does one of the best jobs of any companies in our industry, and maybe in any industry, of understanding the working conditions in our supply chain. And we're extraordinarily diligent and extraordinarily transparent about it. You can go on our website and read, our report that we publish once a year. And we go into these suppliers, and we go into their secondary and tertiary suppliers, places where nobody's ever gone before and audited them before, and we're pretty rigorous about it. So I can tell you a few things that we know, and we're all over this. Foxconn is not a sweatshop. I mean, you go to this place, and it's a factory, but my gosh, I mean, they've got restaurants and movie theaters and hospitals and swimming pools, and I mean, for a factory, it's a pretty nice factory. But they've had, if you count the attempted suicides, 13 so far this year. And while that is still, they have 400,000 people at this place, so 13 out of 400,000 is 26 per year so far for 400,000 people, or let's say 7 per 100,000 people. That's still under the U.S. suicide rate of 11 per 100,000 people, but it's really troubling.
Right. It's in one place, too. It's in one.
Well, you measure it by number of people. You measure it by numbers of people.
Right.
So we had this in my hometown of Palo Alto. We've had some copycat suicides where high school kids have committed suicide by throwing themselves in front of Amtrak. And it's very troubling. So we're over there trying to understand what's happening, and more importantly, trying to understand how we can help. Because it's a difficult situation. They've got a lot of workers who are leaving very poor rural areas, coming to these factories, away from home for the first time, 19 years old. They're probably less prepared to leave home than your typical high school student going to college in this country. And so I think there's some real issues there.
And you all are bringing in psychiatrists or any?
We're trying to understand right now.
Okay.
Before we go in and say we know the solution, we need to understand what the problem is.
So you have teams, but what kind of folks do you send over there? I mean, they have to be some kind of social workers, or what do you send over there to find out, or just lawyers, or what?
No, not lawyers.
Not lawyers? No? Okay.
We send over, first of all, our own people that have been going over there for a long time and are very familiar with them. And second, we've hired some outside folks as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about where things